So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all can hear me now. Uh, I'll be talking about the role of the lighting designer and the engineer that would be involved in the team, mainly the electrical engineer that would be there. Basically, how crucial is their role for the perfect delivery of the project. So basically, we'll focus on the contemporary architectural design that we are hearing about all these days. What is basically the contemporary architecture? It basically is something which is structures designed from late 20th century, which is 1900s, to the present day. You'll see a lot of blank walls and facades that are created nowadays intentionally to make the building stand out. We can put them in unconventional forms that are there. It could be linear, it could be non-linear, it could be spherical in shape of a building. Also, we have to have, you might have seen buildings made out of sustainable products like wood. Also, again, debatable if wood is supposed to be sustainable or detrimental to the environment, because you will be deforesting the things. But you have sustainable forests also. So again, innovative materials and sustainable building practices. This is basically what contemporary architecture falls under. I'll be referring to some projects that we have done and some of the projects that are reference files, basically. So this is a residential building that we've been involved with. It's in the capital of Jharkhand, Ranchi. And again, the facade of the building is basically to have one terrace on top of another terrace. The balcony is made to look that way. So it is called the Tower of Terraces by the architect. And as the lighting designers and the engineer, building services engineer to it, we have to make sure that we don't deform the architectural services. Some examples of contemporary architectural that is there, Baku being the cultural center is one of the best examples that in my eyes is present. You have Guggenheim Museum in New York. The architects would know all about all this. The Sydney Opera House, you have the Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth. Some of the examples are for the wood facades that are used, And you can have the contemporary architectural form on the interior of the building also. So, one thing to note is the architectural design done by the architect will precede the lighting. We cannot have light fixtures visible over there, but we want to have light forms over there. So the role of the lighting designer is to have discrete light fixtures. You don't want point sources. You don't want, when you look at it, basically where you're drawing the attention away from the design of the architect. It has to be hand in hand with the architectural design. So, you can see over here, basically, it's a passageway. The light fixture is not visible on the ceiling at all. It's all on the floor. It is soft light, discrete lighting that is being thrown up to the roof of the building passage. It has you have to contribute to the architectural design. You cannot diverge from the vision of the architect. That is the role of the lighting designer. And the design language for the illumination has to be set by the lighting team. That has to be followed by the electrical designer. He cannot have his conduit coming in between and messing up your light fixture design, basically. So for the engineer, if we look at this, this is the reception hall of the same Trident at Gurgaon. Massive ceilings, curvature ceilings, no point sources. It is just uniform lighting that is there. And again, the light fixture is hidden in the architecture, the sculpturals that are created by the architect. You can see the long structures that are there on the wall that is used to hide the light source. Now, at this point, if the collaboration is not done correctly with the engineer, he would not be aware that he's not supposed to provide light, the conduit points on the ceiling, but he has to provide it on the wall. So a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions have to happen with the engineer on board also. Battery limits have to be set. Who's going to take care of controls? Is it going to be taken care by lighting designer, or will it be taken care by the engineering team? If, DALI controls or DMX controls, so it's basically the vision of the lighting designer has to be fulfilled by the engineering team. At the same time, you're not aware of the quality of power that is being provided. Will your fixtures be able to sustain over a long period of time? Do you need a UPS? Do you need surge protection? That is where the engineering team comes in. So information has to travel back and forth between the two, because in the contemporary designs, it is very clear maintenance is a big issue. You know, having these ceiling heights, it's not easy to keep changing light fixtures every month or so. So it is important that the engineering team also provides the correct protections, correct distributions. Load is balanced. You don't have burning out of fixtures because it's not engineered correctly. The distribution is not done correctly. Then how would the emergency lighting system, how you would be looking after that? Do you want standalone batteries? Is it a centralized system? So which fixtures you would like to have on? So if it's an office, it's very easy to design that thing. But moment you come into architecture or the contemporary architecture, this becomes a big role. How are we going to have a minimum of 30 lux for a good evacuation, uniform evacuation? 30 lux on a floor when you have indirect lighting. That is difficult to achieve. So something that has to be thought over, brainstormed, and then designed. Like I said, maintenance is an issue. So if you look at this fixture, this design also, you have basically indirect lighting. You have the two horns that are there. You have some pillar lighting on the sides. So you have pillar lighting, you have lighting below the desk, though indirect lighting. They're simple to maintain. How are we going to maintain the light fixture there? If there's an electrical fault, if the wiring has to be changed, how is that going to be maintained? So that close working conditions have to be there between the engineer and the architect. This is another project of ours. This is the facade of the hotel that we have done at Udaipur. Here again, because we have the engineering team in-house, we have close interaction. They're in the same office. We just walk over to the desk and discuss with them how we are going to handle this whole thing. So the architect had provided window boxes. It being in Udaipur, he wanted to have, try to mimic the windows of a fort, where you have small windows and boxes that are visible. The client wanted glass facades, so it was a big tussle between them. Then comes in the building services and the lighting designers, who need their own requirements that are there. So we had the illumination that you look at, done by window lights that are installed at the bottom of the box, at the corner. So when you're standing on the street, you do not see the light source, but you see the illumination of the architectural feature that is provided, which is the small pinholes structure. And at the same time, we had to play with glare, like Ashish mentioned, not coming into the window of the guest. We don't want them to draw their day curtains during the night. So that was another asymmetrical fixtures that we had to come up with along with the OEM, where the illumination is to the windowsill, but not inside the guest rooms. And when the guest is standing, it does not hurt their eye. So we had to block that out also. Everything is on DALI. It is, again, something which they can control. it's addressed. Every fixture can be controlled by the maintenance team. If there's a complaint, if the guest wants it to be dimmed down, it can be dimmed down also. One sec, it has skipped, yeah. This is the another case study, same hotel. The compound wall is one of the first structures to go up in any project because they would like to demarcate the plot that is there. So the architect, since we were on board right from beginning, building services, normally lighting designers are brought in later on. We were on board as building services engineers. We saw these niches that were created by the architect. These are about 250 by 250 niches. There are about 380 of them in the three-sided compound wall. And wanted to tie down the facade that we had visioned on day one, the facade lighting. We wanted to tie it down with the compound wall. So we laid the conduits right on day one to every niche and box that was there. So when later on, when it was the time of finishing, we were able to illuminate each niche box with a very simple LED fixture. We didn't need IP rating. And at the same time, the fixture is not visible when you're standing there. It is recessed into the niche on the ceiling. If it fails, the client can remove it. And it's a simple 4-watt LED fixture. It does not cost more than 250 rupees. We were within the tight budget that we had, we were able to illuminate and make this a feature while driving down the driveway. There were planters planned, which was scrapped after this, once they were able to see these, the effect that was created. So, it's an example where the engineering team and the lighting team work together on the same project and are able to deliver good. There was no destruction happening. There was nothing had to be broken to lay a conduit later on. Right from the building, the controls have come in. And because the conduits were laid, we were able to again bring this down also on Dali. We had spare buses available on the controller. So it becomes a very easy product. A very simple product becomes a high-tech product for the customer, basically. And it pushes them to the next level. I could not put it up on the slide right now, but we are working on a project which is an auditorium, one of the largest in the country. There again, we are having massive interaction between the engineering team, the electrical team, and the lighting design team for the house lighting, the stage lighting, how they're going to communicate with each other, how we're going to maintain something which is mounted at an 18-meter height with a sloping floor, with no catwalks. So that is how we are discussing all those things. We are working on solutions, innovative solutions that we are trying to come up for the client right now. So just wanted to actually put it there that as the way the architectural design is moving forward, the interaction between teams is increasing, and it needs to be done without any hesitation, basically. Any questions on?
Any questions from the audience? They actually liked your presentation so much. They don't have any questions.
Thank you.